You have unread texts from Golf Buds. Would you like me to read them?
Yes.
Okay. Johnny says, what are the nicotine pouches you had on the course? Walker says, 8 milligram on nicotine pouches. Billy says, I love the mint one.
I like that one.
Walker says, me too. By the way, you both stink at golf. LOLOL.
Come on. Carry on nicotine pouches. Shop now at onnicotine.com/group text. Warning, this product contains nicotine. Nicotine is an addictive chemical.
It is time to leave your worries outside and laugh with us inside the Treehouse. I'm Dan O'Malley along with Trey Trenholm and Raj Sharma on Monday, January 27, 2025. Welcome to a new week inside the Treehouse. Trey, Raj, have you guys ever in your lives been hanging out with your buddies and had your mom just completely embarrass you in front of them?
Yes.
Okay, good. We're all on the same page. I've also experienced this. When you were hanging out with your buddies and your mom embarrassed you in front of them, were you in line waiting to have sex with a porn star?
I'm going to go with a hard no.
Of course, that no would be hard.
I'll go with a flaccid no.
Good response. Well, this is a level of parental trauma that one young man is going to have to carry with him for the rest of his life, which I find fascinating. Would you be more embarrassed to have your mom pull you out of line to have sex with a porn star in front of everybody, or more embarrassed later in life when your friends and family discovered that you screwed a porn star and were one of 1,000 dudes?
I think the former is more embarrassing.
So mom pulling out of line would be worse.
Yes.
Gotcha. Okay. It's a
Because
tough
you can
question,
always
isn't
go
it,
back
Trey?
and be like, I was young, I needed the money, or, this is they were setting a Guinness Book of World Record, and I wanted to be a part of that moment. And you could be like, hey, I was 23rd, I wasn't last.
Yeah, gotcha.
But having your mom pull you out of line, that's something you don't really get over, I don't think.
I would just love to see your therapist's face when you tell them the source of the trauma.
Yes.
Did you say, what was the question? What was more embarrassing, or what would you rather have?
It's sort of, when you put it that way, Trey, it's kind of the same question. What would be more embarrassing? Having your mom pull you out of line of a gangbang, or down the line, your friends and family discover that you took part in the gangbang and you were one of 1,000?
Yeah, I'm sure having your mom pull you out because then it leads to why did your mom know that you were in line for a gangbang?
That's a great question.
I was
But
going to ask the same thing.
But I would rather have that than participate in the gangbang and have a adult film credit to your name.
Gotcha. Well, we all remember the name Lily Phillips here inside the Treehouse, right? She's the one that played the audio a couple of weeks ago because she was crying after having had sex with a bunch of dudes in a short period of time. And she was crying because she didn't feel like she was able to give the proper amount of attention to each banger. Also, because I imagine she was a little sore. But she didn't stop there. That didn't make her retire. One name she goes by is Lily Phillips. Another name she goes by is Bonnie Blue. I'm not even sure is it like a split personality thing? I don't know if she's known by both. One predominantly, you can find her under both names. In this particular story, she's going by Bonnie Blue. But this actually happened to a young man. He was in line to have sex with Bonnie Blue for her OnlyFans channel when his mom showed up and pulled him out of line and said, "You have got to leave." By the way, Bonnie Blue, she's a 25-year-old OnlyFans creator, and she's become notorious for advertising her multi-min sexcapades with dozens of dudes lining up at various locations just for the opportunity to bump uglies with her. And now, an irate mother found her son in line to have sex with her, with Bonnie Blue, and ordered him to leave with her.
So he was ready to go.
This is where, again, I got lots of questions and not many answers. Because at this particular gangbang, there's another influencer in line, and I guess he's a wannabe documentarian. So he's getting footage during this, and he records the mom telling her son to get his coat and come with her, and trying to force him out of line.
Go in, put your clothes on and come. Otherwise, I'll get the police to come for you. Put on your clothes now and come out. Come out of here now. Put on your coat and shoes and come. Don't let me call the police, you know.
He's coming. He's lost his coat.
Where's your coat? Where's the coat? Find your coat.
Don't shout, please.
It's unacceptable for me. You get me more annoyed.
He's coming now.
Now, the mom's face has been blurred in this particular video that the documentarian posted on TikTok. But the sentiment is the same. Mom showed up, somehow knew this kid was there for the gangbang, and pulled him out of line. I don't know how it sounds like, according to the guys that are waiting in line and mom's kind of moving among them, it sounds like he's already in the room with her. And she's showed up just in the nick of time before he makes a huge mistake.
Yeah, and that's a Jamaican mom. You don't want to make her mad. And you better find that coat. You can tell she bought him that coat. You could tell she was very, very adamant about finding that coat. It's like, I bought that coat for your birthday.
Yeah.
You need to find your coat. Not that you're in line for the gangbang. I'm only going to get you out of the line. Where's the coat?
Paid good money for that.
Yeah, I think the only thing would have been funny with that had it been a Latina mom and she had a chancleta and she was just started whipping his ass.
That would have made a great cutaway during the OnlyFans gangbang video. Is out of nowhere, the flip-flop comes flying in and smacks the kid on the head, knocks him out cold.
Yeah, that's the only thing we didn't have to worry about as Indian kids because, we take our shoes off at the door. So she would have had to leave her shoes outside.
You're in the Treehouse. Visit us online at treehouseonair.com.
You're listening to the Treehouse. Visit us online at treehouseonair.com.
Did you know that you can get even more Treehouse? Subscribe to Treehouse Plus. You get bonus content and subscriber-only episodes, including video. It's all available on our Patreon. Patreon.com/treehouseonair. That's patreon.com/treehouseonair to subscribe to Treehouse Plus. I'm Dan, along with Trey and Raj, inside the Treehouse today on Monday, January 27, 2025. I swear I talk good. Today we have a special guest for us all inside the Treehouse, and that is Bernie. Yay, Bernie.
Hello,
Yay.
everybody.
Raj is looking around like, who's this guy? So, Bernie, you and I have known each other for a number of years, and I'm not sure if you and Trey have ever met, and I'm almost positive that you never met Raj, but we have a similar radio history. That's how we know each other, from our Dallas-Fort Worth radio days. and we've reconnected recently, as they say on LinkedIn.
It's a brotherhood. It's kind of a brotherhood that we have. A shared common trauma.
That's exactly. That's exactly what it is. So Trey and I, years ago, for people that have listened to the show for a long time, know that we worked with Russ Martin for a number of years. And for those that don't know Bernie worked with Jody Dean. And
I laugh because I can't cry.
Bernie's out of Jody Dean tears. So it's like Bernie said, it's like that shared sort of radio trauma that has brought us together, and it brings us together today inside the Treehouse. But yeah, we worked with Russ for years. Bernie, you worked with Jody Dean for years. We know what it was like to work with Russ for years. What was it like working with Jody Dean for years? Because you did the morning show with Jody on 98.7 KLUV for quite a while.
It was, we were together. Jody and I were together 8 years. And I mean, it's a high wire act. Probably a similar experience as you guys had to Russ. Were
there stretches, were there long stretches of time where Jody would disappear?
No. You know what? No, my problem was that he wouldn't stop showing up. No, we were together for a long time, and I've had a lot of time to reflect on it. And Jody and I are fine now. There was a time where I don't think we were, but look, high wire act, things were thrown. It's show business, baby. And you got the mic, the light goes on whether you're fighting or not. And I think we all, there were a lot of big personalities in the room. I mean, there was at 1.7 people on the show.
Jesus.
So, I mean, it was the last of the golden age of the paying a lot for radio, and CBS was paying a lot of money for that show to succeed. And
not you.
I was a producer of the show, and it was what it was.
Yeah, that's what I mean. We had some of those same shared experiences. And radio is an interesting beast on its own anyway, but being a part of a quote unquote big time show brings its own challenges to the table. And that's true no matter the format or no matter who the marquee name is, on that particular show.
We spent Jody, of course, Jody did a lot on radio, but then he went to TV and he came back to radio. And so there was a time where he was doing both TV and radio at the same time. And there was a time where our show was televised also on what was then TXA 21. And so we had to deal with a television version of the show also, which added to the stress and depression of the entire experience. And I don't know, man, I reflect on it fondly now, but it took me a long time to get there.
Oh.
So
therapy?
A lot, tons.
Like official therapy or like the Instagram therapy? That
no, official, like medically sanctioned therapy. like the type of therapy that they, that is bonded and
insured.
Prescriptions were involved.
Prescriptions were involved. Prescriptions are still involved. It's fine.
I think an argument can be made that if you were not medicating on some level, then you never truly worked in radio, whether it was prescribed or self-prescribed or, like I said earlier today, subscribed.
Yeah.
That's truly how you can tell whether or not someone worked in radio or TV in that case sometimes too.
We were also very scared of the Russ Martin show because we knew that the Russ was just going to blow us up at any point in time. And so whatever, there were things going on behind the scenes that we knew about and the building knew about, but the listeners didn't know about. And we knew we were told we were not allowed to talk about some things, but we were the only ones not talking about them. Everyone else in town was talking about them. He went on this reality show and Jody went on this reality show and there was a woman involved and he was still the whole thing.
Not my wife, Tara. This is other Tara. This is Tara Harper, who at one point was the head of Paws in the City, and she did the reality show.
Most Eligible Dallas.
Most Eligible Dallas, yeah.
The picture that I have always painted of it was I want you to imagine being in high school and you go sit down at the table and you have to sit there and eat your lunch, and you know that everyone at the other tables are kind of pointing at you and saying the things that they want to say to you, but you've been told that you can just sit there and eat your soup. And so we just, because of the type of radio we do, we're not a confrontational show. And so the other shows around us were confrontational shows that didn't mind kind of airing out the laundry that we couldn't air out.
So what's the laundry you're talking about that you were told you couldn't air out?
At the time, he was at the time he was a married man on the radio.
Yeah.
And so, I mean, there were circumstances around all of that we knew, but we knew that the other shows had the same knowledge that we had, and that they could air that stuff out and they could talk about it, but we couldn't. And so that was frustrating.
Now, who said you couldn't talk about it? Jody or
the
radio management?
The boss.
Radio management. Gotcha. Okay.
And you also couldn't point to other high profile morning shows that whose hosts were
we were not a
around.
Confrontational show. That was not the show we did. So
meanwhile, those of us on the Russ Martin show, all confrontation all the time.
all confrontational. And I shouldn't air out that. I feel weird even airing it out now, but there was a time where we were just told, sit, do the show you guys do, and don't reference it, and just sit there and eat your soup. And that was hard to do.
That doesn't sound like any, because we had a lot of fun with that show back in the day. We would cover it on the radio show. Trey, like we all knew at least one person on that show. And in our case, we knew a few.
Yeah.
And it really was one of the only times, other than the occasional Bachelor or Bachelorette update, we ever talked about reality TV.
Yeah, no, I can remember tuning in. I'm the producer of this show, and everything where there's holes being poked in every character in the lead of my show by his own doing, and I have to sit there and watch this. And I think it was 10 weeks, and it was the longest 10 weeks of my life.
and suddenly you all understood how it was one of his ex-wives shot him.
We knew that story. No, that story we could talk about that story on the air. You know what, Jody, for all of his holes, did talk a lot about his. He was very self-aware. He was very self-aware and then not self-aware at all. It was very strange. He had some blind spots, but I could make fun of him being shot on the air at any point in time, and did. It took every opportunity I could that one of his wives shot him. It was an unusual dynamic. And as I say all of this, he and I are fine now. We're fine. We've made up. Everything is okay. We talk.
And you know what? I'm that's great for you. In a very different way, Trey and I are also fine with our guy.
You're in the Treehouse. Visit us online at treehouseonair.com.
You're listening to the Treehouse. Visit us online at treehouseonair.com.
The RMS Treehouse Listeners Foundation benefits the families of DFW area police officers and firefighters killed in the line of duty. You can donate. Donate by going to treehouseonair.com and click on donate. It's that simple. That's treehouseonair.com. Click on donate to the RMS Treehouse Listeners Foundation. Still going strong. Dan O'Malley with you, along with Trey Trenholm, Raj Sharma, and special guest today, Bernie, formerly of 98.7 KLUV fame with Jody Dean, currently on stations around the country that you can hear Bernie's morning show, working around the country, living the dream, doing radio in a number of markets, a syndicated radio personality based in the beautiful
This is my
city
basement. I'm in Cincinnati. I'm in my basement in Cincinnati. It is currently 21 degrees, everybody. 21 degrees. This is what it is right now.
You can take the man out of morning radio, but
that's it.
Yeah.
That's it. I'm all time and temp, man. I'm all
time and temp checks all day, every day. Time and temp checks. All right. Well, thanks for hanging out with us inside the Treehouse today, Bernie. We appreciate it. It's great to have you. So completely different aspect now, as opposed to throwing shade on our former lead hosts. We'll do something completely different that we all can identify with. Working in radio for as many years as we all have. And Raj, you're included in this because I consider you a radio guy as well, because you've been in it and around it more than some people who actually were paid by radio stations, right? And something all of us in radio can identify with is the feeling that there's been a monkey run amok in a studio. In most cases, that's figurative. I think only in a few cases was it ever, actual. But just imagine wherever it is you work, all of a sudden a monkey is running amok in your place of business. This actually happened to someone at Starbucks. Look, working a drive-through is hard enough no matter where you are, what the restaurant is. But a Starbucks drive-through, I would imagine, is especially tough because of all the, very specific and elaborate drink orders. Like, it's bad enough trying to remember to punch in someone's very specific venti iced mocha latte, whip, no whip, half calf, no calf, whipped cream, no cream, whatever else may or may not be in there, without having a raging monkey flying into your drive-through window and running around the Starbucks.
Now, this is not a figurative monkey. This is an actual monkey.
This actually happened, yeah. And I know what you're thinking. There's a story about a monkey running amok in a Starbucks drive-through, and you're assuming it's Florida.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You're wrong.
Really?
Although you're close, it's Alabama. So, I mean, it is right there.
All right. That monkey could have been from Florida.
It could have been. It may have crossed state lines and decided to terrorize Alabama because it was bored with Florida. But on the morning of Friday, January 10th, police in Alabama were called to a Starbucks because someone's pet monkey had jumped from its owner's car into the drive-through window and started attacking the employees. The primate was if I'm saying this properly, the primate was an Aotus night monkey. They have big eyes and appear earless. The employee says she'd never interacted with this female customer before. She said that as soon as the woman lowered her window, the night monkey leapt out of the car through the window and started gnawing on her hand. Then it climbed up her arm and started biting her ear. The attack ended when another employee grabbed the monkey and threw it back out the window.
Out! Get out, monkey! Get out of here.
The monkey flew back into the woman's vehicle and she drove away. How is that not a new game to play at the state fair? Throwing like the monkey back and forth between the car and the drive-through window. Oh, but that one employee appears to have won. The monkey's owner did come back inside the store to check on the employee, but she wouldn't leave her name or any contact information. The employee was taken to a hospital where she got multiple stitches and vaccinations. Her ear was apparently in pretty rough shape, but she'll be okay. The police identified the monkey's owner as Tammy Gardner. She refused to comment to the media, saying she didn't want to put her pet at risk.
Sure. It's kind of a Tammy move. That feels like a Tammy move to me.
That's a solid Tammy.
Yeah.
I mean, Tammy. A Tammy's not a monkey that's going to jump into a Starbucks.
It's Tammy with an eye, by the way.
Monkey was probably upset. One minute he's in line for a gangbang, and the next minute mom's pulling him out of that.
This is one of those moments where I should offer context on that to Bernie, who missed the first story of the show.
Look, I did.
But I think in this case, some mystery might be appreciated.
We're fine. No, I'm good. I'd rather not know. How about that?
It's probably better for your morning shows across the country that you don't know the context of a monkey at a gangbang.
I don't need any definition. Don't define any of it. I just want to go.
Some things are better left as a mystery.
Yes.
Oh God. For what it's worth, the lady reportedly had 2 monkeys in her vehicle that day, and other employees say they've seen her with multiple monkeys before. They even say that sometimes she has the monkeys wearing leashes, costumes, and diapers.
Sure. As from what will now be known as a good monkey and a not so good monkey in the car. A bad monkey.
Oh God. Police are investigating, and Tammy could be looking at charges, but they didn't say what those charges might be, possibly because they don't have those charges on the books already in Alabama. Florida, they probably do.
Yeah, Florida, it happens every Wednesday, but Alabama, you gotta
Monkey Mondays.
Yes, the Starbucks manual has training in it in Florida when a monkey attacks.
Yeah, not if you're attacked by a monkey, but
It's
when.
You're in the Treehouse. Visit us online at treehouseonair.com. You're in the Treehouse. Visit us online at treehouseonair.com.
If you like the Treehouse show, then you will love us on social media. So give us a follow at Treehouse On Air across all the major social media platforms. That's at Treehouse On Air on social media. So give us a follow. Dan O'Malley here, along with Trey, Raj, and special guest inside the Treehouse today, Bernie, one of our radio pals from our DFW radio days. Last week was a big week for the country. New president, new administration, all sorts of changes are happening. And right after President Trump took the oath of office, he promptly sat down at his desk that they, I guess, brought in it was already sitting there or something. But part of the show that day was him signing all these executive orders / executive actions, over 200 of them in a flurry that he signed that day. And if I'm being honest, I feel like, despite controversy surrounding some of them, that there was room for some other ones that we would have liked to have included selfishly here inside the Treehouse. So we're going to remedy that now. Today, inside the Treehouse, it is our top 5 on the Treehouse top 5 today. It is the top 5 executive actions that we would have slipped in for President Trump to sign. We will start today with number 5 of the top 5 executive actions that we would have liked President Trump to sign. Trey, number 5.
Declare Wayne Brady a national treasure.
Ooh. Yes, like that.
I would gladly participate in I'm Wayne Brady bitch day.
Is Wayne Brady gonna have the joke of bitch? Eve the night before.
Oh, and number 4 of the top 5 executive actions we'd slip in for President Trump to sign while he's there doing it is from me, and that would be to have Chick-fil-A open on Sundays.
Yes,
sure.
I think that's pretty universal. I think just about everyone would be happy with that. Number 3.
Oh, sorry. I was going to say, I think the when the old man dies, like when whoever's in charge of it now, the daughter or granddaughter said that when he passes, she'll open on Sundays.
Oh, really?
Because of how much revenue they lose.
She better not put it in the will, or she better hope he didn't put it in the will. Which, by the way, have you seen? You guys are familiar with Nothing Bundt Cakes?
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
So they're dealing with this right now because when Nothing Bundt Cake started out, they also were closed on Sundays. But since they've cashed in with venture capitalists, the venture capitalists have said, no, you're going to open on Sundays now.
Mm-hmm.
And a bunch of the local franchisees are going, oh, we don't want to. It's going to be bad.
Hobby Lobby is famously not open on a day where most people do their hobbies.
Mm-hmm.
True. Are they closed on Sunday as well?
They are also closed on Sunday. I believe it's Hobby Lobby or Michael's, one of the craft stores.
Hobby
I think it's Hobby Lobby.
It's Hobby Lobby. Yeah, without a doubt. And because I remember I encountered that once, and it was, what do you mean Hobby Lobby is not open on Sunday? It's like, this is the day for hobbies.
It's the day I do my hobbies.
What were you doing at a Hobby Lobby on a Sunday, Dan?
Buying yarn. What'd you do? It's what you do. You buy yarn. Dan was buying yarn.
Bolts of fabric for things I don't know why.
Of all the low spots in my life, including hitting rock bottom, have not hit that level of bedrock of being upset that a Hobby Lobby is closed on Sunday.
That's when it's time for rehab.
Yeah,
no.
Find yourself
Trey.
in a parking lot at a Hobby Lobby, just crying, sobbing to yourself, wondering what life did.
No, you misunderstand. I was not unhappy that the Hobby Lobby was closed on Sunday. I was just surprised by it. I was very glad it was closed, because didn't that mean I didn't have to go in?
Gotcha.
Was Mama upset though?
Yes.
Yeah.
All right, where was it? That was number 4. Chick-fil-A open on Sundays. Okay, number 3 of the top 5 executive actions we would have slipped in for President Trump to sign during his flurry. Raj.
I say every month, all 12 of Elon Musk's kids get to nut punch him, reminding him where they came from and to not have any more.
It's the ultimate in
he's got 12 kids, and the glory of it all is none of them talk to him. That's the best part.
It really, no, I think some do. I know. He posted a photo of one of his kids crawling on him when he was playing video games. But you're right, that would be a great birth control method.
Yes.
All right, let's get back to our top 5. Top 5 executive actions that we would have slipped in for President Trump to sign. Number 2 from me is immediate life in prison for anyone caught pooping in the shower.
Yes. Yes, the executive waffle stomp order.
That's right. Immediate. There is no appeal. You go straight to prison.
Can't be challenged by any courts.
Nope.
No.
All waffle stompers. Whoosh, life in prison. And then, number 1, our top 5 executive actions that we'd slip in for President Trump to sign. Number 1, Trey.
For you, Dan, make pegging great again.
Oh.
You, Trey. That's been the Treehouse top 5.
Oh, it's that
top 5
podcast.
executive actions that we would have slipped in for President Trump to sign.
And now the press conference, Dan. I'm sure Bernie has a question.
Oh, that's the podcast that we're on, huh? Oh, okay, I didn't know that.
Oh yeah, it is a network that we have established here, Bernie. So now that you're on this one, you're also going to be included on the Begging for a Pagan podcast.
You're in the Treehouse. Visit us online at treehouseonair.com. You're in the Treehouse. Visit us online at treehouseonair.com.
Yeah, that's a good idea. Do what Aaron just said. For all things Treehouse, go to treehouseonair.com. That's our website. On that website, treehouseonair.com, you can find past shows, links, contact info, and more, all right there on the Treehouse website, treehouseonair.com. That is treehouseonair.com. Today is Monday, January 27, 2025. Let's celebrate with some birthdays. Female snowboarding superstar Hannah Teeter is 38 today. She earned a gold medal for the United States with her skills at the halfpipe in the 2006 Winter Olympics, and she picked up a silver medal in the halfpipe in 2010. So happy birthday, Hannah Teeter, 38, female snowboarder. Actress Rosamund Pike is 46. She is the star of Gone Girl. Trey, have you seen Gone Girl?
I have not.
Rosamund Pike, Ben Affleck, one of the topless girls from the Blurred Lines video has a role in that film, and unsurprisingly, she's also topless in that one. But it might be one of the all-time great quote unquote crazy girl movies. And I don't know if
train or something.
Is that what I'm thinking of? Yeah. Well, there's the girl on a train, then there's Gone Girl.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
But I know her from The Wheel of Time.
Okay. I also know Rosamund Pike from her co-starring with Tom Cruise in the Jack Reacher movie.
Yeah, she was. I remember.
Yeah. Which, by the way, if you are like me and you're a Jack Reacher fan, I've read a couple of the books, and I saw, the 2 movies that Tom Cruise did. I love the TV show.
Yeah, it's good.
Third season comes out next month,
and that's why I'm bringing it up. I'm very excited to watch the new season 3 trailer for Reacher just the other day. The next season comes out next week. Very excited. I love seeing a big muscled up dude just beat the ever-loving crap out of small people.
I like part of that. What? Never mind. Forget it. Forget I said anything. Keep moving. What's the next birthday?
Fair enough. Jake Pavelka turns 47. He was the pilot from Dallas, Trey. You may remember this from the times when you would come over to me and my wife's house. We'd make steak and we'd watch The Bachelor together. Tara was there, my wife. It wasn't just me and Trey eating meat and staring at each other while watching The Bachelor. He was the one that was a pilot from Dallas who was on the show a couple of times. He's the one.
The guys, Dan.
What's that?
I don't remember the guys, Dan.
Well, you'd remember the girl he picked. The girl he picked was Vienna. She was the super crazy chick from Florida with the dark
super crazy chick on The Bachelor.
What?
Well, that narrows it down.
Huh?
Well, that's what I mean. Even by Bachelor standards, she was on another level. That's why
I remember Sparkle Girl, and that's really about it.
Bernie, have you ever been a Bachelorette watcher?
No. I mean, I'll go in at like the last episode, the first episode of the season and the last episode of the season, and tune out everything in between because it's all just noise.
And here's what happens when you do that. You miss some great, beautiful moments, like the one Trey's going to share with you right now. That is his favorite from The Bachelor.
Oh, the one girl who everyone hated in the house, and she said that
she got voted off. The Bachelor said, we don't have a spark or whatever. I don't feel anything for you. And he sent her packing. And then in the exit interview in the limo,
she declared that no one would take her sparkle.
Well, you know what? It's important to stay optimistic in those moments where it gets dark. That's all she was doing, was staying optimistic, I assume.
That makes sense. If it's dark, and I got to make sure I've got my sparkle.
I'm sure she wasn't crazy at all. I'm sure there wasn't the screw loose.
Bernie, having worked for Jody Dean, does The Bachelor bring back some little PTSD?
It's a little PTSD sort of kind of trauma.
If you notice him twitching, like if you're watching this on the Patreon subscription for the video, he'll be twitching a little bit.
Yeah, no, it's not pleasant. I can't watch a lot of dating shows, a lot of I can't. I haven't had the Bravo channel on in 15 years. It's bad.
I love the concept of that show, and it's so great because it doesn't work anywhere outside of television. If you just told a guy he could date 20 women at the same time, and all the women are like, "Sounds great. I just want to be the one."
Well, the flip of that is The Bachelorette, where you're selling to a woman that true love can be found inside of 4 weeks or whatever the length of time is that it takes for that show to play out from start to finish, 3 weeks or 4 weeks or whatever it is.
To me, it's a great example.
That's the fantasy, right?
Yeah, it is. It's absolutely a fantasy. And the thing that people, it's billed as a show about love and romance and finding your special person in an unlikely place. In reality, below that surface is what the show is truly about, which is, in essence, Stockholm Syndrome. You are trapped in this environment with these people. Of course, you're going to find a couple of them that you feel really connected to and that you think you can spend the rest of your life with. Yeah.
I've narrowed it down from everybody in the world to these 15 people. And if I'm inside these 15 people, I will find some sort of common thread, some sort of common thing.
When do we get to go outside?
when you declare your love for somebody.
It's been nothing but these 15 women and gin for the last 3 weeks.
You're listening to the Treehouse. Visit us online at treehouseonair.com.
And that's how you know if it's really bad, is at the end of it, she says, I choose the gin.
You're in the Treehouse. Visit us online at treehouseonair.com.
Do you like to watch? Well, you can watch us on YouTube. Yes, we have clips of the show right on YouTube. Just search for the Treehouse Show podcast or go directly to our channel, youtube.com/@treehouseonair. That's youtube.com/@treehouseonair, because Treehouse TV is on. You can see our ugly mugs right there on YouTube. I'm Dan O'Malley, along with Trey Trenholm, Raj Sharma, and special guest inside the Treehouse today, Bernie, one of our radio pals from DFW back in the day. And we actually started the show, Bernie, right before you popped in, with a story about OnlyFans sex content creator, Bonnie Blue / Lily Phillips. We're not sure which name she goes by day to day, but she's that chick. I don't know if you're familiar with her. Recently, she was trying to do the new world record of 1,000. The new world record she was trying to break. Jesus Christ, I can't get this out. I now know what it's like to have too many things in your mouth. That's kind of how she was like.
Well, sure. Okay.
In 24 hours, she was trying to have sex with 1,000 men. And
it's an admirable goal.
Yeah. And I think in the middle of her attempted feat, although I don't know if she used any feet, although that might have helped, there was a guy there getting footage for a documentary. And while he was getting footage for a documentary, one of the guys in line, his mom shows up and forces him to leave before he can partake in the Lily Phillips gangbang, which is, of course, super embarrassing.
Mom?
Yeah. Mom. The good news is, if you're Lily Phillips / Bonnie Blue, it looks like she actually hit her goal.
Well, yeah.
Because she now claims that she slept with over 1,000 men in less than 24 hours.
That is, I mean, congratulations, I guess.
Yeah.
Good for you. I'm glad you're hitting goals.
Yeah, I mean, and apparently she was able to do it and add some to the list. So it's not like she stopped at 1,000, right?
Mm-hmm. She didn't just break the record, she shattered the record.
She shot past it, as it were.
Sure.
She successfully unseated Lisa Sparks, the Kentucky porn star who held the Guinness World Record for having sex with 919 men in one day. That was all the way back in 2004. Fast forward to today, Bonnie Blue was able to get 1,057 in the same amount of time, exceeding Sparks's milestone by more than 100 guys. They even said, according to her representatives, as she hit 1,000, there were still 57 men left in line who Bonnie wanted to pleasure before ending the 12-hour day.
Really, she really is an eager beaver. What? Never mind. Forget it.
No. And keep in mind, she's 25 years old, and if we're being honest, if we can look at this from an abstract point of view, she's 25 years old, and every goal she has set for herself, she has hit. And in this case, not only did she hit this goal, but she surpassed it.
Sure. I mean, she's kind of the Olympic athlete. There's an Olympic athlete somewhere if this were an Olympic sport.
Mm-hmm. And I realize that this, is looked down upon in many people's eyes and in some industries, but I really don't know if there's ever been a bigger opportunity, a wider opportunity, if you will, for Gatorade to jump in and say, hey, you know what? For whatever sport you play.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. You gotta quench that thirst.
You do. Somebody comes over and dumps that Gatorade on your head at the very end. You wonder why you're wet.
She's just glad it was Gatorade.
Right.
And they say Gen Z has no ambition.
Exactly.
They set goals, damn it.
somewhere on a LinkedIn page.
she's like, I want to bang 1,000 dudes and every STD simultaneously.
I'm just glad that it's not, I mean, if you look at it from that standpoint, Trey, you're very, very right. She is full of ambition. She's full of other stuff as well, but at least ambition found a nook to hide in. Thanks for hanging out with us inside the Treehouse today. Bernie, thank you so much. We appreciate you taking the time from your busy morning show schedule across the country to hang out with us inside the Treehouse.
Oh, it's a pleasure, guys. Thank you.
And always keep in mind that no matter how low you go, it's hard to be lower than Bernie broadcasting from his own basement in Ohio.
It's unnecessary. It's an unnecessary way to end the program. That seems like.
Although, to be fair, he's living the dream. It just he didn't understand that the reality of that dream would be in his basement. But I'm happy for you. Man,
fun. Hey, joke's on you. I haven't taken my pajama pants off since COVID ended.
You might want to wash those.
Yeah.
We'll see you guys tomorrow right here inside the Treehouse.